Hi, this is Scott Geitler from Blue Water Photo, and today we're going to talk about the Sony RX100 and a nice selection of 3 different housings from Ikelite, Nauticam, and Recsea. The small, tiny RX100 is a serious game changer in the field of underwater photography. It's very small, but it has a very big sensor, and the image quality is amazing, great dynamic range, fast focusing. If you're looking for a small fixed lens camera and you can afford the camera in the housings, this is an unbelievable choice. You can't go wrong. Nothing really compares to this at all. Here are the housings. We have polycarbonate Ikelite housing and 2 very high quality metal housings. As you see, the metal housings from Nauticam and Recsea are much smaller, and it's a world of difference in terms of the ergonomics and controls. Let's start with talking about the Ikelite housing. The Ikelite, actually for a change, Ikelite gave the ability to control all the controls. So Ikelite housing, you can control the front and the top and the front dial and the back dial, which is nice, a nice change for Ikelite. It has 67mm threaded port for a macro lens, or for the Blue Water WA110 wide angle lens. There's no vignetting at all with the WA110. It's very sharp. But with the Ikelite housing, it's to zoom, you sort of have to push the zoom and then stop it. So there are people that definitely don't like the zoom. When you do try to use the change your aperture with the front control dial, it can be very hard to do, so it might take a minute. So keep that in mind. The buttons on the Ikelite housing, they're they're okay, but they may have problems over depth and over time. Takes a minute. You get to put the housing on this tray and screw it in. That's an extra step. And for using strobes, you're going to have to get a strobe mask kit like the one from CNC and Velcro it on there. So it's $400. I think it's at a good price point. If you're doing anything more than casual snorkeling, I think that is definitely worthwhile to look at these housings, because a lot of people will get the Ikelite housing and then come back and say, I want something that works a little more smoothly and fires the strobe better. I want to get one of the better housings. Let's look at the Nauticam housing. $950. It's small. It feels really nice in your hand. It has a nice little place to put your thumb. Comes with 67mm threaded ports, which means a macro lens or a Blue Water WA110 wide angle lens will go right on there. Has a nice screw where you can put a secure ball to mount a video light. The strobe mask is really nice. You can open it up like that. Has a single O-ring, and it has buttons in the back, so it can be a little more difficult to use with gloves than the Recsea housing that we'll talk about, but overall it's a nice housing. There's no vignetting with fisheye lenses. You will need an adapter for fisheye lenses, which I highly recommend. The Ikelite housing does vignette with a fisheye lens. You have to zoom in a little bit, although with the Ikelite housing it still is a little wider with the fisheye lens than with the Blue Water WA110. But the WA110 on all these housings is very sharp. Let's talk about the Recsea housing. The Recsea housing, $1,100. It's the smallest and lightest of the housings. Let's open it up. You have a nice big fat O-ring, which I really like. It's a nice, simple design inside. They really try to reduce the chance of anything going wrong with the controls. Recsea has a large control wheel in the front, and it has a large control wheel in the back. People who've been using this control wheel really like it. It's been very accurate and very easy to use underwater. This port has a unique male threaded design, which allows you to put a quick adapt system on there. So if you want to quickly snap your lenses on and off, we sell a nice quick adapt system that works with this housing. You will need a port adapter to use any of the wet lenses on there. If you're considering the RX100, I definitely recommend a call to the store to speak with Shane or Kelly and I again about the nuances. I've dove with all these housings recently. They all work well. The Nauticam and Recsea are really a joy to use when shooting. Thanks for watching the BlueWaterPhotoStore.com video on the RX100 housings.